Hey, welcome to this lecture. My name is Zheng Liqiang. Next, we will introduce the types of the study design, the intervention studies. And the intervention studies sometimes is called experimental studies. And for experimental studies, individuals are randomly allocated to at least two groups. And one group is subject to intervention or experiment, while the other group is not. Then the outcome of intervention is obtained by comparing the two groups. And the quasi-experimental studies. And in the quasi-experimental studies, at least one characteristic of a true experiment is missing. This may be either missing of randomization or missing separate control group. Randomized controlled trials are scientific investigations that examine and evaluate the safety and efficacy of new drugs or therapeutic procedures use human subjects, and RCT can be used to first to evaluate the safety of a new drug in healthy human volunteers, and second to assess treatment benefits in patients with a specific disease, and thirdly to compare a new drug against the existing drugs or against the dummy medications. And the result of these studies is considered to be the most valued data in the evidence-based medicine. This is the rationale of RCT, and the studying point is the study population, and then the study population will be randomly allocated to the intervention group and the control group, then follow up to get some information about the outcomes, then compare the incidence of outcomes between the intervention group and the control group. And these are characteristics of RCT. Investigator controls the predictor variable, and the major advantage over observational studies is ability to demonstrate causality. In RCT, randomization controls unmeasured or potential confoundings, and the RCT is only for material research questions. These are steps in a randomized controlled trial, and the first is to select the study patients, and all of the study subjects is the high risk for outcome, and is likely to benefit and not to be harmed, and is likely to adhere. And then measure the baseline variables is very important, but every variable should have the clear definition, and you can get the information of baseline variables by questionnaires. And then randomization. Randomization can help us to eliminate baseline confounding. There are three types of randomization, that is simple, stratified, or block. The blending is important in RCT, and is very important as randomization. And the blending can help us eliminate the co-intervention, biased outcome estimate, and biased measurement of outcome. And then we will have to follow up these study subjects, and you remember. And follow-up measurements is adherence to protocol or according to the protocol. And you will try your best to reduce the chance of losing to follow-up. And finally, to measurement the outcomes in both study populations. And the contents include the clinically important measures and another adverse events, that is the safety and efficacy. These are advantages of randomized controlled trials. The RCT is the gold standard of research designs, and will provide the most convincing evidence of relationship between exposure and effect. And some disadvantages should be attention. that the RCT is very expensive and it is not appropriate to answer certain types of questions. For example, it may be unethical. It is not suitable to assign persons to certain treatment or comparison groups. So sometimes it is not appropriate. Example of to test whether the drug is effective in adults with severe COVID-19. This is a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial in China. The result is a very important to guide the how to treat the COVID-19 patients. Intervention studies can be classified by clinical trial or field trial. And the field trial has a similar process relative to the clinical trial. The key point is it's not the treatment, but the prevention. And the study subjects also is from the general population. And but the clinical trial, the study subjects are commonly the patients from the hospital. And this is the community trials. In this form of experiment, the treatment groups are communicated rather than individuals. This is a particular appropriate for diseases that are influenced by social conditions, and for which prevention efforts target group behavior. And for example, cardiovascular disease is a good example of a condition appropriate for community trials. This is an example of class randomized trial that is sometimes called a community trial. That is to test the intervention regarding the school-based peer-led intervention for smoking prevention in adolescents. The key point is randomization. The unit of randomization is communities, that is schools, but not the individual. Different studies have different uses. That is, if you want to get the prevalence, you have to use a cross-section study. If you want to confirm the cause-to-effect relationship, that the cohort study or longitudinal study will be recommended. So if you want to test the treatment effect, yes, the randomized controlled trials is a gold standard to be recommended. These are major references. Thank you very much.